Welcome back to Peter's Political Perspective. Today we're going to talk about the mass arrest scenario, Governor Newsom running for president, and the midterms, because it seems to be all connected. Is he running for president after the midterms because he's afraid of the mass arrest scenario? All this and more in Peter's Political Perspective. And if you stick around a little bit, I'm also going to explain why Grok is not here, because something happened to Grok, and we're going to have to talk about it. All right, see you guys in a second.
Our brightest days are just ahead, just ahead, just ahead.
So Governor Newsom, the governor of California, he's been saying that he's going to run for president, possibly for the presidential election 2028, depending on what happens in the midterms. Like, he's going to decide that after the midterms. And that's a very interesting way to phrase it. Like, either you're running or you're not. First of all, Newsom knows he has no chance. Everyone knows Newsom has no chance. But he does not run for president because he thinks he's going to win. There's always an alternative motive. And in this case, I'd like to explore the possibility that he's running for president to avoid going to jail. Now, let me explain. For at least a couple decades, there's been conspiracy talk of a mass arrest scenario, where all the bad guys get rounded up. I mean, it's kind of like a fantasy of the good guys, right? But realistically speaking, if there were a mass arrest scenario nowadays, what could happen, what likely is going to happen, is that if Trump was like, all right, all these people are bad guys, they're criminals, we have the dirt on them, let's arrest them. He pushed them all through the court system. The court system's already actually very corrupt themselves. And a lot of these guys would just get out scot-free. And you can't just send them to the court system over and over again until you get the result you want. So we're in a little bit of a pickle here where we're trying to drain the swamp, but it's very difficult because the drainage ditch, which is, the judicial system, is clogged with corruption. So what do? Great question. I'm glad you asked. What you do is you win in a landslide in the midterms, and then with that, you're able to appoint different judges and justices and all that stuff, and you can change the whole judicial system so that after the midterms, if we win in a landslide and we can replace a lot of these judges, guess what? Now we're in a position where if there was a mass arrest scenario, we actually have a judicial system that can handle it and would trial these people fairly. So this is very exciting, and I'm wondering if it's all connected because Newsom's literally saying like, well, I'll decide if I'll run against Trump depending on how the midterms go. So because the last midterm scenario, again, people were wondering if there's gonna be a mass arrest scenario. And a lot of people that ran for president, they're like, well, they knew they weren't gonna win. They're just running for financial gain or because they're worried about being prosecuted. Because the way it works, the way that running for president keeps you out of jail in theory is that you can claim political persecution, right?
Persecution.
Political persecution!
So let's claim a scenario where we're winning a landslide in the midterms and we change the whole court system, right? And now it's relatively clean and we can now start to arrest a lot of people, right? If Newsom is running against president and he gets arrested, political persecution. Well, I was going to win the election, but then Trump knew I was going to win the election. So that's why he threw me in jail. That's why he's going after me politically. And so it's a shield. It's almost like to say, hey, it has nothing to do with me committing crimes. It only has to do with me running for election. Because why is it he never came after me until I was running against him? Seems like it's definitely political, right? Well, it's not. And so this is a strategy that's been done before, and I totally believe that his whole, well, I'll decide after the midterms is going to be determined by whether we win in a landslide or not. Now, are we going to win in a landslide in the midterms? That is a great question. I've done a very thorough analysis on that, so let me dive into that. Are we going to win in a landslide in the midterms? Based on a lot of research that I've done, I've been crunching the numbers with Grok, and it appears that there is a good chance. Now, let me break down the numbers specifically. According to Grok and my analysis, it's not just Grok's analysis, it's my data and Grok's data combined, the 2024 presidential election was about 14% more secure than previous. So Based on that, it appears as of now, if no major changes happen, that the next election, which is the midterm election, will be about 10% more secure, I guess you could say, than the previous midterms. So the security level of elections is going up, and Trump's pushing for voter ID, proof of citizenship, paper ballots, all that good stuff. And he's pushing for it very hard. He wants it all done by the midterms. What are the odds all this gets done by the midterms? If Trump manages to get even 90% of what he's trying to get done in terms of election security and integrity done by the midterms, there will be a landslide. Because based on my opinion, or my perspective, I guess you could say, Democrats account for roughly 25% of voters. It's not anywhere close to 50%. That's my opinion. I have nothing really to back that up. Just my opinion. You won't really know until we have a situation where we're doing paper ballots, proof of citizenship, show your ID, no dominion machines. Then we get to see what the actual numbers are. And so that's very exciting. That could happen this midterm election. Now, some of you might be thinking, what are the chances Trump gets all this done, or most of this done by the midterm election? Which is a very good question to ask, or even wonder if you've been wondering it. And I've been crunching the numbers with Grok. It appears there will be about a 25% chance that all these things, proof of citizenship, ID, paper ballots, all this good election security and integrity stuff, only about 25% chance that he gets about 90 or more percent of this done across the country for the midterms. So he's pushing hard. Odds are not really stacked on our side. But then again, the 2024 election was only about 14% higher security. And we got really good results there. And so I am very, very excited because even with a little bit more security, even if the midterms about 10% more secure, it's going to help. But I really hope Trump can get more done. I would be great if the next midterm election is like 80% more secure, or has double the security level. That would 100% more secure if that's even possible. Because I think that if there is a lot of security, that's going to be better for the fairness of elections in the country. And then we're going to see the most pure, authentic, accurate results of what the split is, Democrat, Republican. Maybe I'll be wrong about this, maybe I'll be right about it. Let me know in the comment section, what percentage of the country do you think is still Democrat? I do know that the amount of Democrats, people who register for Democrats has gone down significantly, and the amount of people registering for Republicans has gone up significantly. So I think a lot of people are switching. I have noticed a lot of my Democratic people that I'm in contact with seem to be leaning more and more to the right. So we'll see what happens. I'm very excited. If the midterms are super, super secure at the highest level of security, way improved than previous elections, then we can see a scenario where we win in a landslide and then we get our mass arrest scenario. But let me talk about that. How is that going to work? Because it's not going to be right after elections in 2026, now we're going to see mass arrests. No, it's the elections happen, people get put into office, corrupt judges get kicked out, replaced with good judges. I'm not exactly sure. I should have fact-checked this beforehand. How long it'll take? I think roughly a year. So in a good case scenario, we could see a mass arrest scenario in 2027, which is 2 years from now. But hey, we've been waiting for many years, so I'm okay to wait a little bit longer. What happens if the Democrats sweep us in the midterms or do fantastic? Or what if they do better than we anticipate? That's going to be a big problem, because then we can't replace the corrupt judges. Let's say, worst case scenario, the Democrats do amazing in the midterms for one reason or another, and we just have to deal with it, and we can't replace these judges like we want to. Then the mass arrest scenario, I still believe is going to happen, but it will have to be delayed to your 2028, 2029, 2030. Why do I say that? Because even General Flynn said, and Steve Bannon's been saying this for a while, Trump is going to run in 2028. I know you're saying it's illegal, but you can change laws If we win enough seats in the midterms, we can actually change the Constitution and make an amendment so that Trump can have a third term. And honestly, he might need a third term to finish cleaning out the corruption in the deep state, draining the swamp. So this midterm is crucial. If we get the laws passed, we will get the Republicans in, we will change the judges, and then we can speed up this arrest scenario, and there'll be a lot more arrests, and then we can clean out house quicker. If we don't do a good job this midterm election cycle, which is next year, then we could see a situation where it's just a slow trickle of arrests, and any mass arrest scenario where like a lot of governors or a lot of politicians are getting rounded up, that might have to wait, 3-4 years, which is disappointing, maybe 5 years, 6 years, but realistic. I want to be realistic. And this is the reason I had Grok next to me. Now, I did want to talk a little bit about what happened with Grok. I was asking Grok to do backflips and some acrobatics and stand up and do some cool things. And as I was asking this puppet to do things, and he was decapitated. Now, Grok will survive. It is just a cardboard box, so you don't have to cry over this. Grok is in the emergency room. He is waiting. I'm coming back. I'm coming back. He's coming back. He's in the emergency room. He's waiting. The robot fixer is on the case. We will get Grok back. I promise you that. So let me know what you think about all this. Do you think we're going to win the midterms? Do you think this will change the judges? Do you think there'll be a mass arrest scenario? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Some people agreed with me in the comment section with my last video. Some people disagreed, and I liked hearing both sides. So I appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comment section. So I'm very excited about this next midterm election cycle. I just can't wait. It's like Christmas. It's like, okay, let's get in there. Let's sweep it, red wave, and let's get rid of these justices, and then we can finally have arrests. Now, what is a scenario where Governor Newsom could be arrested? Because Trump did threaten to arrest Newsom in a sense that he was like, I'd arrest him. And then Newsom quickly turned into, oh, look at the authoritarianism. They're coming after governors. This is peak authoritarianism. Blah, blah, blah. I don't even know how to say that word properly, I guess, today. But how could that scenario happen? And I'll explain it. What I see likely happening. Let's say we sweep the midterms, right? And then we replace the judges. And then somewhere around early 2027 is what I see happening. Trump's going to send in a lot of National Guard into these Democratic cities. There's going to be pushback. Governors are going to get away. Newsom's going to get away. The governor of New York's going to get away. And depending on how they get away, they would either be committing crimes, but if they're literally like funding Antifa, like helping these people commit crimes and all that, like depending on how much or how long and all those details of how the governors get involved and try to stop Trump, it could be, a small fine. It could be 20 years in prison. It could be treason. If they are like funding Antifa in a warrior-like way, and Antifa is using violence against ICE, and he's funding Antifa who are causing violence against ICE, if that were to happen, and I have no evidence that would, but for some reason I feel like it might, if that were to happen, that would be on the level of treason. And in any of these scenarios, if he helps out at all, it'd be if any governor interferes with this scenario where Trump's sending in the National Guard to clean up and get rid of crime, if they ever interfere with that, the chances of arrests are going to be high. And now, if this happens in early 2027 and he goes into multiple states at the same time, then and then the governors get involved and start getting arrested. Newsom can't be like, oh, look, it's just me, I'm being arrested, because it might be like 12 or 13 or 20 other governors who are being arrested who are also interfering. So he can't play, I'm the victim, it was just because I was running for president. That's the only... No, it's like, we're arresting all you because you're all interfering with this. And something to understand is that when these National Guard come in, they really are cleaning house. They really are coming in, getting rid of guns, saving children, getting rid of illegals. Like, when I heard National Guard was coming to Tennessee or Nashville or any place in Tennessee, I was like, that's great. Go into conservative places. Go into Texas. Go into every city. I want every state, Texas, Tennessee, California. I don't think any of them should be specifically targeted. Every state should be cleaned out. And I think that Trump's focusing on the worst ones first. But they should all be cleaned out. It's a good thing. It's healthy. And if these governors get involved in preventing Trump, they're going to rack up crimes. And at the most serious level is treason. If they're literally funding people who are harming ICE agents with violence, they are now at war with the government, and that is now treason. So it's going to be very, very interesting 6-7 years. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen. I'm just making predictions based on my perspective. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to have Brock back by tomorrow. My goal is to post about 6 episodes a week, so hopefully I can do that. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate the viewership. I appreciate the comments, the feedback, the negative, the positive. I'm taking all of it and digesting it. I appreciate all you guys for being with me today. Have a wonderful day and peace out.
Remember to subscribe.